It's by faith anyway, and you're not gonna believe if you don't want to believe me, dude.
Oh, there's the
You
F
can't
word.
if you.
There's the F word. It's by faith. Trust me, brother. So, give me evidence of your magic fucking fairy tale, or go away.
What do you believe is your purpose in life? How does your life have meaning to it?
My purpose is most definitely not to worship a magic muffin man forever, like a mindless bot. That's definitely not my purpose.
I got you. That's why you don't know what to do. Hello? Yeah, keep on dancing. First of all, you pretend to be a Christian. Then you pretend to be an imaginary God. Then you pretend to be everything.
Jesus is king. He's king of non-existence. He's king of social distancing. He hasn't returned in thousands of years. He shows up, he pretends to die in a stick. He's like, yeah, I win. And then he dies and he floats up to heaven like a balloon. All right, guys, bye-bye. Now he thinks he's the king of the world for thousands of years. Prayer doesn't do anything.
It's done nothing good for
Man,
us.
prayer doesn't do jack shit.
Okay.
What is your evidence to God? Your God is pointing a gun to our faces and saying, you better believe in me or you're going to burn. Right? That's like a burglar. Saying, you better give me your money or I'm going to shoot you. What do you got?
I've just got a question for you, to be honest. Do you believe there's a difference between the consciousness of humans and the consciousness of animals and everything else?
Yeah, I believe that there are degrees of consciousness. But what's your point?
Why do you think humans are different than every other animal?
Every animal is different than every other animal, right? It applies to every single animal. We're just a little bit different in terms of our awareness because we evolved to be this way. We evolved to be this way because we had to survive leaving Africa. We had to survive different habitats, different water sources, food sources. We had to become smarter to survive.
You're an intelligent thinker. You're an intelligent thinker for sure. But I just want to say that I believe humans were made in God's image, and that's why I believe we built this.
I don't give a shit what you believe, sir. I want evidence or go away.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah. See, every time we press these guys, they never give an answer. They never give actual evidence. That's what I'm after. Anybody can believe, but I want to know. Anybody can believe. What's the truth, though? And how do you know the truth? What's the evidence for the truth?
So that whole evolution thing where we slowly changed into man from chimpanzee or something.
Okay. What do you think evolution is, sir? Let's hear this.
Well, we evolve into being stupid. That's what we do.
No, sir. What is your definition of evolution? Let's hear it. I'd love to hear this.
No, when people try to teach you in college about...
No, sir. Please answer the question. What is your definition of evolution?
My definition of evolution is going from a monkey type of animal to a human type of animal.
No, this isn't Pokemon, sir. That's not evolution. You're incorrect. Let me educate you real quick. Evolution is the genetic mutations that occur over generations. And we observe this in our DNA.
There's no bones.
No, you're not going to talk. You're going to let me speak because you're wrong. Evolution is evidenced by things like DNA. We can observe chromosomal fusions. We can observe genetic mutations in our DNA. This is direct proof that we have evolved from recent ancestors. We also have fossil homology, analogous structures that we can date in the geological strata or the soil. And what we could find is small incremental changes over long periods of time. It's not that we evolved from monkeys. We share common ancestors with monkeys. Millions of years ago. And over time, small changes build up to become vast differences in species. That's what evolution means. It's not monkey to person. It's not turtle to rabbit. It's not, it's not Pokemon. It's small changes over time. Now, please give evidence of a God, because even if evolution was false, it doesn't mean God exists.
That's one point, but I still think that there's no evidence, as you say, fossils. That's my one point. You say there's...
We have thousands of fossils, sir. We have Australopithecus. We have
Homo you go to a museum, there's no fossils. You go to a museum, there's no fossils standing there. You have
Yes, there are
dinosaurs.
fossils in museums, sir. There are fossils in the museums. And by the
Oh,
way,
there's a
we also have
Neanderthal
fossils
man
in the
there.
labs.
There's a Neanderthal skeleton there.
That's a fossil.
I don't see those in the museum, but that's my one point.
So just because you've never been to a science lab, that means no fossils exist?
A science lab. They found one little monkey thing that they say looks like
No,
a
no,
human.
sir. We have thousands of traditional species.
Okay,
we have thousands of human species before
I'm
us.
glad you made your
Fossils
point.
of them.
I'm glad you made your point. My other point is that
You
finally,
didn't have
after
one. You
200
didn't have one
years,
point. You didn't have one point.
okay, after 200 years, finally, spiritualists, physicists, scientists have all joining hands to say that there's an H factor, there's a God factor. The centrifuge that moves where they take two elements and separate them and they act the same. There's something that's
Oh my gosh. You're
yeah,
talking
well,
about
it's
entanglement?
well, you
Sir,
don't listen to physicists.
this is atrocious. This
Can
is
you let me
atrocious, sir.
finish?
No, because you're wrong. And you're not going to misinform people. There is nothing supernatural about quantum mechanics. Yes, it's mysterious, but so is your mom, and so is many things in the universe. Just because something's mysterious doesn't mean that God did it. And more importantly, there can be a natural reason why quantum mechanics works the way it does. It does not have to be a God. So please give us actual evidence of a God and not just God of the gaps, where every gap in our knowledge, you're going to fill it with God, as if God's some kind of like filler. Like wherever you don't know something, you just put God in there. That's not how this works. Give us evidence or go away. Please, hurry up.
When you say God, that's one thing. But when you say there's another factor involved, that there's the like the
Okay,
gentleman.
have a good day, sir. You obviously can't track with the argument. Have a good day. Next, Jesus is king. He's king of non-existence. He's king of social distancing. He hasn't returned in thousands of years. He shows up, he pretends to die in a stick. He's like, yeah, I win. And then he dies and he floats up to heaven like a balloon. All right, guys, bye-bye. Now he thinks he's the king of the world for thousands of years. But more importantly, the Bible, for example, in the Quran, do not teach you how to be a good person at all. There are many disgusting things in the stories. They teach you how to own slaves. How is that good? Don't
The Ten
pretend as if
Commandments
the
give you a
Bible or
very
the
great
Quran.
base on how to live proper life.
Don't pretend the Quran or the Bible are good. They're not good books. They're not morally good at all. They are atrocious.
Clear. It's been translated and aged over time, so there are going to be points that have missed the mark.
We know that both of these stories allow you to, essay and do all kinds of bad things to people. Those books allow you to do that. That's disgusting. And by the way, I could be a good person without religion. In fact, I'm a better person because I'm not religious.
Well, not everyone is you. All right. Well, most people, if you follow the base 10 commandments,
I know that. That's not irrelevant, sir. The point is that religion is not required to be a good person.
It's not required, no. But
great. So where's your evidence for God?
For me, it's just it gives you a belief after death. We can't.
So does Magic Unicorn. So does Zeus. So does Spider-Man. So does Batman. So does Avatar. It doesn't matter. We need evidence, not beliefs.
Why would you care if somebody believes in God or not?
Because it can go infiltrate law and regulation in our society. You can use your belief in God to enact laws to take away my rights, LGBT rights. You can take away, because you think it's a sin to be gay, right? So you can take away our rights. You can take away abortion rights. You can take away science education in school. You can take away critical thinking skills. Like
you believe in science.
Currently with you, religion takes away all kinds of rationality from people. And you're a prime example.
How do you believe you became to existence, sir?
We didn't come to exist. We evolved through time, and that's a fact. And there's no reason or evidence to believe in God at all.
And what is your definition of evolve, sir?
Genetic mutations over time.
Genetic mutations over time. You're saying we
it's basic biology, sir.
What, sir? What proof do you have of that?
Oh,
Prove
sure.
me.
It's called chromosomal fusions, genetic mutations, fossil
And where did you
homology,
learn this
molecular
from?
homology, lab experiments.
And
We
where
have
did you learn
entire
this from?
we have entire droves of data that demonstrate evolution's a fact. Just because you
Do
don't
you,
understand
do you
science
think
doesn't mean
those
it's
people?
false.
Do you think those people are Christians? Those scientists?
I don't give a shit. Science
What do
works
you give a shit
independently of
about?
their
Are
belief.
you
So,
married?
I think it was Einstein, that space is like if you put a ball in it, everything starts to. It's like a cloth, a piece of cloth, and everything starts to rotate around it.
Fabric.
So,
Yes. A fabric,
yes.
yes.
So that fabric is made up of thread being the wavelengths.
It's not an actual fabric. It's not like an actual linen for a table.
You can't
It's
see it.
it's a
So
metaphorical. It's a hypothetical fabric. It's not
anyways,
actually like
anyways,
a dinner table fabric.
in Genesis, God said He spoke the earth and everything in it, and everything
In Numbers
space
22, in
existed.
Numbers 22, it says donkeys can talk. What's your fucking point? The Bible's garbage.
Point is, like, you gotta do research.
Oh, how ironic. The one who doesn't understand the Big Bang or evolution is telling me to research. Sir, you haven't even given us an argument for God yet. You're just rambling.
Well, I've tried to, but I keep getting interrupted.
Let's hear it, buddy. You have the floor. Give us your argument for your magic space deck.
That was my argument. And I ain't mad or nothing.
That was your argument? Strings?
Yeah, buddy.
There's little strings everywhere. That means God's real. That's your argument?
Yeah, buddy.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Well, I'm praying for the strings. I'm praying that you get more strings in your life. I can feel the strings. They're all around us. Ooh, the strings. They're finding parking spots. They're finding parking spots for us. They're finding our car keys. They're turning people's eyes black. They're all around us.
Hey, oh my gosh, so I've still been trying to get this guy to disprove these people, and guess what? We're still waiting to get disproved. No one's still proved him wrong because God is imaginary. It has been months and months now, and yet no one's still proved him right.
Free will, right?
Okay, great. So why doesn't God ever choose any evil if he's perfect?
Because he is pure. He can't be.
Okay, great. So why didn't God make us pure such that we never make mistakes?
Okay, we were perfect, right? God
Sir,
gave.
the point
But
is
listen,
this. You're not understanding. You're not understanding. The same logic you use for God, we can just use for people. We can say, well, God could have made a world where he has free will and he never does a mistake. He never makes mistakes. Just like we could have been in a world where we have free will and never make mistakes. It's the same thing. We could have been that way, but instead God chose us to make mistakes. He chose that we become evil. He chose a world where we become evil. Why?
He never chose, right? We are his creation.
Did he choose to make us?
Right, and he gave us the ability to obviously reproduce, right, and have children of our own.
Sir,
and
please,
keep.
can you track with the argument? We can track with the argument. Could God have made us pure or perfect in a way that we never make a mistake? Could he?
Sure, he could have. He could have, but he didn't.
Great.
Right? He
So
gave us free will.
This is the problem of evil. So you just conceded that God did not have to make evil.
Wouldn't it be more evil if God didn't give us free will? Wouldn't that be more evil?
No, it wouldn't.
If God said, "You don't have a choice. You are going to be like this."
You Christians use all the time. We have free will. It's just that we are good-natured or perfect, such that we never make mistakes. You're not getting it. Free will is still intact. It's just that we always choose the good thing, the good option. Just like God. That's the point. If God has free will and never makes mistakes, so can we.
So you're saying that we can be perfect?
You said that. In fact, you said
I
were
said
perfect.
We were at one time before we fell, right? Before we stepped out of.
So how does a perfect being make a mistake?
I don't know. It's free will, right? There was a choice. You could
No,
choose this, A or B.
even with free will, you would still be perfect, such that you always choose the right option. You can never make a mistake, even with free will.
Like, let me ask you something. If
No, no,
you
no,
were,
no, no. Stay on track with the argument, sir.
I am. I'm giving you.
If
I'm
we're
just giving you a
perfect,
parallel. Okay.
do you agree that if we were perfect, we could never make a mistake? Yes or no?
I don't agree with that because of free will. Like, having a choice doesn't make you imperfect, right? You
Okay.
can be. You can be the. You can,
Let me try this one more time for you. Is
okay. I'm trying to give you. I'm
does
trying to give
God
you a parallel. I
does
understand your question.
let
I
me do this one
understand
more
your
time. Let
question.
me do this one more time for you. Does God have
All
free
right.
will? Does God have free will?
Yes, he has no bounds.
Can God ever make a mistake?
No,
Why not?
because he is the omnipotent one. He is the creator. He is the all and end all and be all. There's no choice for him to make, no right or wrong. He is without sin. He is without
Why not? Why
imperfection
can't he sin? What stops him from sinning?
because he's perfect.
Bingo! So God could have made us perfect such that we never sin. And with free will.
No. How can somebody have free will? Dude, if you're like, let's say, the fittest person in the world and you have an option, listen, and you have an option to choose, healthy vegetables that are going to do things for your body that are beneficial, or you can have a choice to go to McDonald's and you choose McDonald's. Does that mean that you're not a healthy person because you went to McDonald's?
That's not analogous at all. What I'm saying is, if we are perfect, we would never make a mistake. Because by definition, perfect beings have no flaws. They can't make a mistake. And no temptation would stop them from would make them make a mistake. Because even with all the temptation around them, they would still choose the right option because they're perfect. So again, the last
See,
time, why
okay.
would God make a
Now,
world?
in that regard, that's the testimony of Jesus. You hit the nail on the head, man. Okay, Jesus was perfect. He came to earth.
Okay, great. Are we perfect?
He had a choice. He had a choice to not take up his father's will and die on the cross.
Sir, was I born perfect?
No, you aren't.
Okay, then God made me imperfect.
You were born into a sinful nature, and you hit an age of accountability.
So what you're
You know,
saying
I
is God. So what you're saying is God designed me to be evil. I didn't choose to be sin. I didn't choose to sin there.
he did. He
I didn't
didn't
choose to
design
be
you
sin.
that way.
So what you're saying is
He
I. So
designed
what you're
you.
saying
He
is God
designed you with
forced
free
me to
will.
sin,
He designed you with free will.
but He
I mean,
forced me.
if our
Sir,
defense when we stand before,
listen. God forced me into sin. Did He not?
that's the murderer saying God forced me into this because I wasn't born perfect. That's why I went and
Sir,
blew away that
you
lady
have
and stole her purse.
you have contradicted yourself 17 times today. Did God make us perfect? Yes or no?
Me and you know, Adam and Eve, yes,
Okay. So Adam and Eve, were perfect, right?
they were
Okay, great. So why did they make a mistake if they're perfect?
because they ate from the tree of good and evil, the knowledge of good and
Okay.
evil.
Okay. So what you're
Okay,
saying is a perfect being made a mistake.
made a choice.
Yeah, a perfect being will always make the perfect choice, right?
It wasn't the perfect choice. It was a
Why not?
choice.
But by definition, a perfect being will always make the perfect choice, right? Just like God.
But what they didn't know what the consequences were prior to them making their choice.
It doesn't
They were
matter, sir.
deceived.
It doesn't matter.
They were
A
deceived.
perfect being will always make the perfect choice by definition.
How can a perfect being make a perfect choice if they don't know what the outcome of the choice is? If they've never been down that road before, never encountered that situation, how are they to know infinitely
Why would they need
what
to know the future? Why would they need to know? By definition, their nature decides that. Their nature determines that they make the right choice, no matter if they know about the future or not.
Okay, so what is perfect in life, sir? What do you look at that's perfect?
Nothing. They're perfect. Perfection doesn't fucking exist. That's another problem with your point, right? Perfection's garbage. It doesn't actually exist. It's a relative term. But more importantly, you haven't presented any actual evidence of God, and I presented was a problem of evil. This is just the wedding of your. It's just the beginning of the problems with your belief in God. We can take a look at divine hiddenness. We can take a look at the omni paradoxes, the free will and omniscience paradox. We can take a look at many paradoxes in your God. This is just the first one that you can't answer.
Okay, but you believe in evolution.
Do you know what evolution is?
I'm asking, do you believe in evolution?
It's a fact.
It's a fact. Okay, so we came from primordial soup and eventually into monkeys, and then over time, we are where we are.
So evolution is not saying anything about abiogenesis. So that you obviously don't know what evolution means.
I don't care if you're talking macro or micro, okay? But you believe that we came from basically nothing.
Sir, do you know what evolution means?
Yes.
What is it?
It's evolving into something better, right?
No.
Over time. Over time, you get better.
This is why you people are incredibly embarrassing. You come up here.
Well, how did we go from a speck? How did we go from a speck to?
Have a good day. You don't even know what evolution is, sir. You have no place debating me.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I'm agnostic. I don't really believe that any religion is more right than it is wrong. I think that everyone is entitled to their own.
I don't give a shit about your opinions. I care about the facts. Give me evidence or go away.